Like you saw in the last video, we replaced the upper rear control arm, fixed that noise, now we're good. Now on the front. We got something going on up here, I'm not sure, but boy, it's loud. If I take the steering wheel, of course I'm not going to start it because you won't be able to hear it. If I shake the wheel real hard, hear that? There's something in there that's really causing that to make a lot of noise. So hopefully we'll be able to fix it. So let's see what we can find. Alright, so we got the front end up in the air, and I tell you what, that was more work than anything I had to do today, I think. But these cars set so low on the ground, you got to plan how you want to get under them. So I drove it up on a ramp. Took my old jack, put a block of wood there, and brought it up a few more inches, or half inch, so I can get it off this ramp in case I need to get up under it. So we got the center cap off. Let's go ahead and get this off here. AutoJair. I'm not a sponsor. Paid for this out of my own pocket. It's been a pretty good old tool so far. It's been about 2 years. There we go. Alright. Gather up my nuts here and get this wheel off. Alright, so there's that. Yeah, even that wasn't long enough to get up under there, but that jack's not going to go anywhere. I don't need to go underneath. I just need to look here and see what's going on. The heck that's all about. But anyway, brake pads look good. Let's see. We got some life on them, it looks like, left. Yeah, well, we'll deal with that. Let's see, lower ball joint looks good. Shake a couple things here. And right off the bat, I see something here that's not right. Right here. That's off. And oh, this boot's torn up all to pieces too. Oh, there's our problem. Inner tie rod end's done. Look at that. Look at the rust. That's our problem. Loose too. Let me see if I can get some pressure off the steering wheel here. Loosen it up a little bit. I think it's locked. There we go. Oh, I can hear that. Yep. There's our problem. Yep, sure is. No, you can't see that, but can't shake it enough. But that's no problem. All wore out, so looks like I'll have to go order a couple tie rod ends. I'm going to check the other side real quick. Alright, so I'm on the passenger side, and save a little time, I pulled this boot off here, pulled this back out of the way. This clamp was off. It's not broken, but it's off. And what'd you know, this one's bad too. I'll pull this boot back, see right there? See that? Look at that. I can shake that around. I know you can't see it, but I can shake it. That's what's wrong. Both of these tie rod ends, inner tie rod ends, are bad. So it looks like we are going to go order a couple, and I'll see you back here in a couple days. Good day to go flying, so I guess I'll just go flying until my parts gets here. Alright, that was really nice. I needed that. There's an old saying, guys. Don't let other people live your dreams. Always remember that. Get off the couch. That's your motivation tip for today. Alright, back to the job we go. We've got our parts. Here's our inner and outer tie rod end. You get these little guys here. These are like lock washers that you bend over on the back of this here. You see that little dimple right here. You bend this over. That keeps this from backing out. Got these on eBay for $30 free shipping. Now the mistake I made is well, I forgot to look at the boot, and the boot was torn. And I could have got both of these and the boots for about $3 more, but since I had a boot torn, I had to go to the auto parts store and pick this up for $13. Two of these were $26, so that was my mistake. I could have saved a few bucks, but always check your boots when you're ordering these parts, because a lot of times when you order these inner and outer tie rod ends, you can get the boot with it if you look. Now, I did see them online after it was too late, a day later. So, having said that, we got all these parts here, and what we got to do now is go ahead and break this inner tie rod end loose. Now, what I did on the back side here, let's see if I can get my finger in here. There's that washer I was just telling you about. This one had a washer on it, but it wasn't bent over. So what I did, I wasn't sure if I could use something like this. You can use something like this, but if you have that washer, you got to bend it out of the way, because when you're up under here and you try to get that under like that, that washer is going to take up so much space. It's not going to allow that to go on. So I actually used a wrench, a 1 1/4 inch wrench. I think I found this at a junkyard. I got it for like $1. And I was able to get up under, put this on her like this, and just break it free. And got it loose that way. So it's loose. What I need to do is go ahead and get this tie rod end off. And I'm not, this is a good tip for you guys, I'm not even going to separate this inner and outer tie rod end. I'm going to take it off as one unit. That way I can measure it when I put the other one on and get it pretty daggone close. And you see my mistake. Boot was torn. So we'll go ahead and get this off. And I think what I need to do, I've already broken it loose. We'll go ahead and get this off here. I'm just going to use regular old Pitman arm tie rod end remover, and the bolt that was on the tie rod end, which I loosened up and it's kind of sitting there. It was a 17 millimeter, and this tool that I'm using here, socket requires to be 19 millimeter. And we'll just kind of pop this off. I mean, I could take a hammer and beat on it, but what's the point, right? You have to extend this just a little bit. And you'll probably hear it go, well, didn't even have to do anything. It just popped off itself. All right, so that's off. And I picked this up for like, I don't know, $18. I got a whole tool set inside. Just about everything you need now for ball joint removers and everything. Since things have gotten pretty cheap. And now we're going to take this off here and knock this out of the way. I'll probably have to take my hammer and tap on it a little bit. I'm not sure if I can. There we go. Oh, it come right out. Wow, look how bad this is. So now it's loose. So look, check this out. Hear that? In and out, in and out. Shooting this on an old S5. Let me focus that just a little bit better. See how close I can get in there for you guys. There we go. See that? Try that. Anyway, you get the idea. Oh, she's done. All right, so I might be, well, actually I might be able to take that wrench. No, I'm going to have to get underneath it here and get it. So let me get underneath and get this. All right, so I just take a pair of vice grips and just grip it and turn it. See if I can do this and hold the camera at the same time. There we go. I know some of you said in the last video, just junk this thing. Well, I mean, I've had some decent Chrysler cars and vans. I was worried about the transmission, but the most common transmission I've ever had problems with in the last 30 years have been Dodge Caravans, especially the electronic transmissions. I've rebuilt a lot of those, but sometimes you can get good Chrysler cars that have been maintained well, and I'm planning on just keeping this and driving it for a while. But anyway, it's off, and here's that piece of washer I was telling you about. You see, you're supposed to bend this over this way to keep this from turning, but someone did not do that. And if you look here, if I can get it, I don't think I can get this off with my hand. But that's the whole purpose of this, and they didn't even bend this, so I had to take a hammer there and straighten it out. But anyway, it's off. There's the boot that's torn, and now we'll go ahead and assemble our new one, kind of get an idea of the length here, and put it back together. That's all there is to it. Now don't forget to put your boot on here first before you screw all this on here. But that's that, and we'll we are ready to go here and get this off. So there's that. Let me go ahead and put this together. Alright, so hold that thought. I guess I'm not going to go ahead and put this whole thing together as one unit. I'm going to actually have to put this on first, then slide the boot over, because when I get the boot over here, it's going to kind of get in the way, and I need to get this little guy here on. So what we're going to do, so the whole idea is this guy here is, grab it one hand here. You can see how this is kind of beveled there. And what you need to do is put it right here, and it sits like this. And this washer, it keeps this washer from turning. Then when you get this on here, you bend this over the washer. You take something or a punch or something, and you bend this washer back over this part here, and it keeps this thing from turning. One thing I noticed about this one here, I have 4 places to actually put my wrench on here and turn this, which is kind of nice. The other one is not like that. You just have one place or 2 places, like one position, that's it. But this one here has 2 positions, if you know what I'm saying. See? So that's kind of nice to do that. So let's go ahead. I'm not even going to put any thread locker on here. You don't really need to. Some people do, some don't. It just depends. So we're going to stick that on there like that. Kind of get this started. Eyeball it. Should go on fairly easy. Get my gloves in here. My head, my fat head in here too. Turn this on one. There we go. All right, so. And that is that. Easy peasy. There you go. Now you see how that washer's kind of sticking out there? You take a little hammer and you bend this back over this and doesn't let this turn. Now that's a stiff one. Look at that. Oh goodness. That's a tight one. So all we gotta do is tighten this down with our wrench. And I was saying earlier about this crescent wrench here, which I did not explain well. See how fat this is here? That's how wide it is. Well, these here aren't that wide. Gives you more room to get up in there. All right, now I'll go ahead and torque this down, tighten it down, and I believe the specs are 95 to 124 foot-pounds, so you can look up your own specs. And we're going to put this together, and I'm actually going to do an alignment with a string and jacks. I have a YouTube video on that. There's a lot of YouTube videos on that. And with all this being new and pretty fresh, I can just stick my hand back in here and turn this nut and stuff and make my alignment really well on this. Oops, on this side. So let me go ahead and tighten this down and slide the boot on there. And the only thing I hate is there's not a lot of room to slide this in back over this back in there. So I'm gonna have to get up under there and slide this over somehow. And they give you a little zip tie, so don't freak out about that. I actually like these better because you know what? These metal clamps, let me say that again. These metal clamps, they break and rust, and you gotta have a special tool to get them together. Even the outer tie rod in here, it's kind of bad too. So, all right, enough talking. Let's go ahead and get this on here and wrap this side up. Hey, let me know where you guys are watching from right now. All right, that was a little challenging, but that washer is pretty soft. So don't worry if you can't get all 4 of them. I got a couple. I got that one there and one on the bottom. The one on the bottom, I just took an extension and tapped on it like this. Up in there with a hammer and bent it over, and you can see it's bent over about as good as I can get. But it ain't going nowhere. That thing is tight. So now I go ahead and reassemble it. But I just wanted to show you that. You're freaking out about that. If you take a really tiny hammer, you'd have a lot more room in here. Just get in here and at an angle and tap on it. That would probably work. And one other thing here I did was, almost forgot, I took my vice grips and I actually opened them up as wide as I can get them and did this. And see that washer back here in the back? Bend it over like that. Once I adjust these just a little bit better. There we go. See, they put these on when the vehicle, before they put all these inner tie rod ends on when the rack and pinion's out. It makes it easier to access all this stuff. But there we go. Get the idea. Okay. That one's been over pretty good. So basically I got all 4 of them. And I do know they make a tool, you know, to get in there and put all this on, but I'm showing you what you can do this with just regular hand tools. But it's always good to buy a inner tie rod end tool. It makes your life a little bit easier. All right, now let's go ahead and put this together. All right, guys, boy, how about that? Beautiful. She's greased. Got the new Carter pin, and we are pretty much done on this side. Clean that off, and we got this all done. All I gotta do is turn the wheel to the right, and actually to the left, and slide that boot on there, put a zip tie on it. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side first, then come back over here and do this side. So hopefully this video will help a lot of you guys out. And also, by the way, I counted my turns. Turned out to be 17 turns. And there's our jam nut. We'll kind of leave that loosely. And I can just simply take a wrench and stick behind here with a tire on there and turn this around and watch it with the string. And get it pretty lined up before we take it to an alignment shop down the road. Alright. Alright, we're on the passenger side and everything is ready to come off. We got this here off. It was easy to get broken loose underneath of it pretty well, with no problem there. And stick my hand back in here, just take it off like this. I think you can see that. There it is. All right. Like I said, these weren't even bent. Huh. But anyway, how bad this is, this side here. Well, anyway, so the boot, no problem, but I think they may have sold me the wrong boot on the other side, because this one here is a lot easier to slide on and off. The other one, I'm having a hard time getting it on, so I'll deal with that later. Not a big deal. So let's go ahead and put this one together. Story of my life. The hole's not big enough, so try that. I should take that Carter pin. There we go. All right. See that or not? All right. Get this off of here. All right, we got grease there. We are done on this side. And this one was 16 turns time I spun it on. And you can see we got the Carter pin on there beautifully. Kind of wrapped around the bolt and the nut there. Now, boot on this side, no problem. It went right on. I can slide it right on, but unfortunately, where's it at? Oh, it's right there. Unfortunately, the other boot on the other side, I cannot get it over that rack and pinion. Here's the one that was torn. That boot is about 2/3 the size of this. It's not big as this, so I'm going to have to pull it back off real quick, run to the parts store and get the right one. So, having said that, it looks like at this point, there's really not much more here to show you guys. I'll deal with that boot over there, but I will do an alignment on a little bit later and all that. So, the most importantly thing to remember is when you put these tie rod inner tie rod ends on, make sure you bend that washer over so this doesn't back off. But other than that, if you want to put some thread locker on there, go for it. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching, and until my next video, I'll see you later.